And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back. Hope you're enjoying that lovely brutal OST as we returned. We returned here with the grand finals of LiuLi Cup 36, day number 2. Again, it's been 2 days of intense StarCraft quarterfinals into semifinals into grand finals. Here we go. We have our top 2 players. We have our Zerg, we have our Protoss. Both players, they did go the distance. They had some intense semifinals matches, and now they are ready for a fresh best of 7. Let's go. We don't often get to see many best of 7s or even best of 9s, but we have them here featured for you in the grand finals. We have our ZvP. Game 1 is going to be on Whispers of Gold. Let's go. Let us go. As spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Whispers of Gold, we have the South Korean Protoss player, the Blue Protoss, who just took down Cure in the semifinals and now facing off against his first Zerg player of the tournament. It is Creator. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have the South Korean Zerg player, the Red Zerg, facing off against nothing but Protoss throughout the entire event, taking down Zaun, taking down Trigger, and now up against Creator. It is SHIN. And as we settle into the grand finals, a big shout out to Rodin18 for subscribing for 18 months, over a year of support. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for subscribing during the break. And also thank you so much for subscribing to Mito in the chat for subscribing for 5 months, almost half a year of support with Twitch Prime. Thank you. Thank you so much for the support. We do appreciate it. Hope you enjoy the content. Hope you enjoy the casting. Hope you enjoy the StarCraft, as we have found ourselves again in the grand finals. Has been an intense 2 days of StarCraft. And we'll see how Creator can differ from the other Protoss players. Can Creator succeed where Zaun and Trigger otherwise failed? Of course, it is going to be a longer series as well. Going to be a best of 7. First to 4. First to 4 will claim the win. Also, very quickly, a big shout out to LiuLi, big shout out to Saber for, of course, hosting and organizing this event. For those that are unaware, the LiuLi Cup is a regular invitational tournament, but every time there's a LiuLi Cup, it's a different format. Like sometimes it's like a best of 9 show match between 2 players, sometimes it's a GSL group, sometimes it's like an 8-player bracket, sometimes a 4-player bracket, sometimes a 16-player bracket. It's not the most consistent when it comes to formats, but regardless, you know, they do host events and host these invitationals on a regular basis. So big shout out to LiuLi, big shout out to the Chinese scene and Chinese community for making this event a reality. So do jump into our first game of the finals. Just catching up. Been a while since I had this available. Usually goes to either you or Pig. Oh, thank you, Miro, thank you. Gracias, papi, gracias. Do appreciate it, do appreciate it. Always, always. So we are building up. Far so good. From here we should be getting into our openers of choice. Stargate here into most likely Oracle. Creator, he doesn't deviate too much is what I will say, but if you remember, I also said that about Trigger. And Trigger, he had some variation when it came to his series against SHIN. And we'll see how Creator will approach this. In Creator, he's a little more fond of the quote-unquote like Polish Protoss style. I'm referring to Twilight Council into Robot, into Archon Drop, into Storm. We have seen that quite a bit out of Creator, so we might see that again in this series. Meanwhile, welcome one and all to Whispers of Gold. This is a rush map. This is the smallest map in the current ladder map pool. Aggression is favored on Whispers of Gold, and if you recall, last time we featured SHIN on this map against Trigger, he opened up Stargate into Glaive Depths. SHIN scattered, SHIN shut it down, and he responded with his own Dropperlord counterattack, basically all in. As a counterattack after he had successfully defended against the Glaive Depths. So it was a very short, or I say short, the game actually progressed from there. If you remember, the game did go on for like 20 minutes. But a very intense, very aggressive game, and we expect something similar here as well, at least on the side of aggression, from either Creator or SHIN, or both. Or both. But now, Oracle's on the way. Oracle is rallied across the map. Oracle is rallied. Likewise, Natural is being saturated. So Creator is moving out. Does move out. Lings, they come in first round. They do catch out. Oh, they try to catch Adept so far. Creator does hold. Does hold, does pull away. Behind this, establishing his third base, getting it up and running. We'll see what Shin can get done. So far, just keeping up with the oracles. Shin just maintaining his drones, maintaining his economy. Third base on the way. We're keeping our eye open here for the Twilight Council timing. There it is. Twilight Council is on the way alongside the Forge. It is going to be a standard opener here. +1 and Blink on the way. Creator, he's not flirting with the idea of Glaive Adepts. Not at all. This time, straight up standard play. Which we actually didn't really get to see too often at a Trigger. Trigger, he was a little more diverse, and Trigger, he was also going for earlier Blink timings. Speaking of, we do have an early Eva Chamber here from Shin. So Shin is going into Lings, going into Ling Hydra. This should be for +1 melee. So Shin is building up towards the mid game. Likewise, so is Creator. So we're calming things down. No early game aggression, no 2 base all-ins. Ooh, that I was not expecting. Okay, early Bailey Nest. Hello, Shin. Early Bailey Nest on the way. This could just be for safety. If Creator did go into Glaive Adepts, then Shin would be ready for that with Bailings, not with Roaches. So an interesting setup here from Shin. Adepts, they threaten the shade. Creator just keeping tabs here on Shin. Confirms no 4th base yet. This Creator's going for a Gateway Explosion. Does get eyes on the 4th. So far we are just keeping up. Lings are deflected. Lair is on the way. This Lair timing should be for the Hydra Den. Keep an eye on Shin. Technically, you could try to go into Mutas, but we often see Muta play on larger maps like Abyssal Reef or Neo Violet Square. That's typically where we see that. So yeah, the game is just slowing down, at least for now. From here, the next step is to see whether or not Shin saturates his 4th base. CV drones up, meanwhile Overlord's going down. Supply blocking Shin. Ooh, does get supply blocked. Creator massing up his army. Bay is on the way, so behind this, not going for Storm, going for Colossus. Lings, they try to engage, they do surround. Nice pick up. They shut down all the Adepts. Adepts are cleaned up. Shin, he does hold. Behind this, second Robo's on the way, going into double Colossus production. That's a lot of Colossus. And Shin, we mentioned before, we expected Hydra, potentially Spire. Why not both? We have the Spire and the Hydra Den on the way. ¿Por qué no los dos, papi? True, true. Shin going for all the tech. Meanwhile, dust around the Stalkers. Very nice catch. Yeah, despite these Oracles, they do pick up a couple of Stalkers. +1 now kicking in. Now rushing into +2. Creator, did he scout this, by the way? He does get eyes on the gases. That is true. He does see all 6 gases. Do you have 1 Phoenix on the way? Into Disruptor, not into Colossus. Okay, this is a little bit risky. It's very risky. Okay, going for both. You know what? You know, Shin, he's like, why not both? Creator, he's also like, yeah, why not both? True. Just Colossus and Disruptor at the same time. Why not? Now it's only the 1 and only Phoenix. He's not making additional Phoenixes, so just 1 as a deterrent. This is reminding me of Master versus Eric, for example, where Master does often make blind single Phoenixes. As that is going to be 12 Mutas on the way. Shin, I believe he has not invested into any Hydras. He has the tech for Hydras, but he hasn't made any yet. Just purely Muta. Hallucination comes in. And the Hallucination will not scout the tech, will not scout the Spire. Creator, he doesn't know. He doesn't know what's going on. He is vulnerable back at home. We have a cannon shield battery in the main base. We do have, yep, side defense on the way here in the natural, in the 3rd as well, already ready. He's not making any more Phoenixes, but if it is going to be Muta play, he's ready for it. As Mutas, they dip in. Stalkers, they reinforce. And so far the first Stalker does survive, does blink back. Likewise, now we react with Phoenixes, 2nd Phoenix in production. And now, of course, Creator, he knows. Now he's aware, so far losing 9 probes, not bad. Now workers go down, not bad damage here for Shin. He pulls away. And remember, he does have tech ready for Hydras if need be, but no, he's doubling down. Oh my god. is making 5 more mutas and getting to +1 range. Or +1 air attack. So SHIN, he's committing to mass muta. It is a little bit difficult to pull this off against Blink Stalker based openers because there is a lot of anti-air. There's a lot of Stalkers. And now building up more Phoenixes. Oh, does get a free Stalker, not bad. Going for the sentries, gets 1, gets 2. Once again, very nice pickups here. Creator having a hard time keeping up, more probes going to be going down. Cannons are not quite in position, not to defend the mineral line. That's going to be another 5 probe kills for what? 5 probes for 3 mutas. That was also the sentries, also the Stalker. Not a bad trade for SHIN, bearing in mind back at home he's freely droning up to 81 drones. He's on max saturation and still just making pure muta. Now, how many Phoenixes? Only 3. Only three Phoenixes against 24 mutas. 1 Phoenix goes down. Down to 2. 2 Phoenixes left. Going for the cannons. Diving in, takes out another Phoenix. The Creator is getting pulled apart. He just cannot keep up. He doesn't have Storm. Oh, no Storm. Archons are morphing in. SHIN tempted to trade. Behind this, taking up into Lurker tech, so he's switching out of Mass Muta into Lunkers. I mean, he's still making mutas, don't get me wrong, but he's taking up. He's taking up, getting ready for a Ling run by. Massing out more mutas. The Zealots spot the Lings. Nothing here in position. The base is exposed. Creator, he's racing over, trying to at least. Never goes off. No major connection. Lings, they collapse on the army. And the base is going to go down. Mutas are coming from behind. They take down the Colossus. And without Colossus, the Creator, he has no pushing power. Oh! Gets 1, gets 2. Takes down both Colossi. Takes down the expansion. 13 probe kills. Creator, he's being forced all in. At this point, he may just have to push. He may just have to send it. He has a decent amount of Archons. Behind this SHIN, he's building up towards Lurkers. He has Spine Crawlers to buy time. Yeah, SHIN is fine. He's perfectly fine here. Again, he has 0 Hydra upgrades, but he doesn't need them. He needs Lurkers more than anything. He needs the Lunkers. Rotate towards the main. Trying to catch out a Phoenix. Goes off, Ling Hydra to defend. Again, these aren't the best upgraded Hydras. No Lurkers either. Uh-oh. Mutas racing back home. Archons getting in position. Mutas collapse on the army. Oh, they focus on the Archons. There's 1 Archon left. And GG gets called. Creator, he runs out of steam. He had no economy behind this. And SHIN takes game number 1. Whew, GG. Again, SHIN, he was crazy going for both tech structures, Spire and a Hydra Den. But remember, the Spire was never seen. The Spire was never scouted. Now, Creator, he was blindly set up for mutas, kind of, with cannons and shield batteries, and with that first safety Phoenix. But despite that, I don't think he was quite expecting SHIN to commit and to make nothing but mutas. He just doubled down on mass muta production, and he was able to just pull Creator apart. Creator just had a really hard time keeping up, and he just let out too much. Like, probes after probes are going down, Phoenixes getting caught out, Stalkers getting caught out, everything really. GG. GG, well played. And with that, SHIN, he will take a lead in the series, and we'll see if Creator can bounce back. SHIN is styling. He was styling towards the end. It's crazy. But here we go. Spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of El Dorado, we have our South Green Protoss player, the Blue Protoss, down in the series, but it's the best of 7. Plenty more games ahead of us, plenty more games to come. It is Creator. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the Red Zerg player. We have the Red Zerg player himself, leading the series 1-0 from South Korea. It is SHIN. Here we go. So we are setting up and settling in. SHIN, he will go for his natural expansions, a hatch gas pool, standard opener out of SHIN. Creator setting up. Now, what I will say is that things like Mutaplay or Sky Toss are a little bit more prevalent on El Dorado. The reason for this is the short rush distance by air. As you can see here, I mean, even by ground, if we open up these mineral paths, if we open up the low ground and into the southern half of the map, the rush distance by ground and by air can be very, very short. Because that, we have seen some people try to rush into Mutas or trying to rush into Tempest. That is available, that is viable here on El Dorado. Likewise, we'll see how our players expand, as I will also indicate how we play this out. Of course, if you recall, last time we featured this map, we saw Shin versus Trigger, and Trigger, he went for a very defensive build. He went Robo Opener, he went Robo into delayed Twilight Council, into delayed upgrades. And once Shin realized what was going on, he was just hyper greedy. If you recall, he droned up to 90 or 87 real fast and real quick, and just overwhelmed. But we'll see what Creator goes for instead. I don't expect a Robo Opener. As we are setting up. Setting up. Natural being taken, getting saturated. We have our tech of choice going for a Stargate opener. So Stargate opener and a creator. Likewise, Shin looking to claim his own third. He does not mine through the minerals, so far no one is expanding towards the south side. Not yet. There we go. Is taking his third. From here, we'll keep an eye on the Twilight Council timing. Last game, Creator went for just a standard Twilight Council and Forge after third base into +1 and Blink. But we might see Creator shake things up a little bit, especially after game one. Game one was crazy. It was ay, ay, ay. You don't often see +1 melee into mass Muta, but Shin got away with it. Away with it. Meanwhile, First Adept does get targeted down. Nice pick off. He gets one. The other going for the drones. Oh, ooh, doesn't get it. A clutch save there by Shin. Oracle moves out, and Creator, he will go for the linear third base. He does not open up the south side. Okay, so both players expanding towards the northern side of the map. Oracle moves in. Queen's are ready. Spore is not. And Creator, he will get a couple of drone kills. He gets one, he gets two, he gets three. He will get away. Oof, just one more shot. The Oracle goes down. That was not worth it for Creator. Ay, ay, ay. 3 drone kills for an Oracle. Well worth it for Shin. Third base now being taken. But that is a rough start. That means Creator, he has less potential to scout, less support for his army, less aggression, less everything. Oh, looks like there was a pause. There was a pause previously here. And hopefully everything's okay. From here, Adepts do move out. Back at home, there's our tech of choice. Twilight Council. We should be seeing a Forge alongside this. There we go. Twilight Council and Forge. This is the same follow-up that we had last game. So far the same build out of Creator, aside from losing the Oracle. Going +1 and Blink. Meanwhile, Shin, this time, safety Roach Warren. Remember, in game 1, Shin did go for an early Evo Chamber into +1, into Lair. It's +1 melee. Here, Shin is playing safe, going into Roach play. Don't blame him after taking a lead in the series, just calming things down. This means that if Creator were to go for a charge follow-up, Shin would be safe. Speaking of, hello Creator. God damn it. So this ideally, going for +1 and charge like this is designed to punish someone that's skipping roaches and going into Ling Hydra, or even Ling Muta, right? Just like last game. So if Shin was playing like last game, then Creator would have a lead, would have an advantage, and would have a lot of potential as he's going for a massive gateway explosion. The problem here is that SHIN has the tools to defend. Now, I should emphasize that he has the tools to defend just because it's possible that he might just drone. He might just drone, he might just skip roach production. Oh, it's cancelled. So if SHIN doesn't make roaches, then this can still work, for sure. It's on SHIN to recognize how much danger he's in and to recognize what's coming his way. As SHIN, he shuts down the Adepts, retakes the 4th. Roach speed is in production, +1 range into Spire. Okay, so it's going to be a Roach opener into Mutas. Now, this can be dangerous if SHIN banks up resources. If he banks up for Mutas, then he could be in danger. Lings, yep, he sees Zealots. He does see the Zealots, he knows Roach production. Like, there's no reason to see Zealots this early on, and of course he saw the Archon as well, so he's fully aware of the charge timing. And you can see he's massing Roaches. He's massing up Roaches, pulls away a couple of Overlords, being active on the map, more Roaches on the way. SHIN, he knows. Does know he is aware. The Spire can still come into play, but again, does need to make sure he's safe for that. So Lings, a force created a chase. Lings are cleaned up. Oracle's into the natural, going for the stasis. And SHIN does pull away. Good reaction. Good reaction so far. He does spot the Spire. He knows. Yeah, Phoenix production has begun. He's going to kill the Spire. He's going for the Spire itself. Charge will say move in, but the Roaches are in position. Can he kill the expansion nonetheless, though? It's going to be a little bit costly, but he will kill the base. The hatchery is going to go down. He's going to throw away his army. Goes to the recall, and he will save one. Yeah, saves one Zealot. One Zealot gets saved, and here comes a counterattack. SHIN is moving out. The Spire did survive. Did we lose the Oracle? No, he threw away the Oracles. The Oracles, they were trying to focus on the Spire. They were killed. Oh, no. So, zero Oracles left. Creator, I don't think he can save this expansion. We have Lings coming to reinforce as well. The base is under fire. Storm is done, true. Okay. There is Storm. So, yeah, speaking of, Storm does connect. Storm's on the Roaches. And with that, Creator, he should clean this up. Loving the Ravager Morphins. Despite that, it looks like, yeah, the Roaches are no longer for this world. The Zealots say, get on top of the Roaches. Archons as well. You have reinforcements coming in from behind. But this is a better trade for Creator. Much better. He trades out minerals for gas. So Creator is in a good position. He shuts down the Roaches. He also killed the 4th base. He forces SHIN to double expand, getting a 4th and a 5th. And Creator, he's on 82 probes. He has a booming economy. Yeah, that Roach counterattack, especially once he saw the army responding, like, that was not it. That was not it here for SHIN. SHIN here overextended. Creator is in a better position. And SHIN now is trying to tech out of Spire, out of Mutas, into Lurker tech. And that's a ways away. So there's going to be a window. There's a window in time here where Creator can try to break SHIN before Lurker tech. As Creator's going for a second Robo into massive mortal production. Already being active as well. And there's going to be a tough hold here for SHIN. As Creator, he's still lacking Immortals. As Immortals are still building up. Still building up. Lurker production has begun. Now, once again, we've seen this before, actually, in the previous series, but I do appreciate that SHIN, he's making Lurkers before his upgrades. Ideally, a lot of Zerg players try to be a little bit greedier and be efficient, and they don't morph them in ahead of time. But again, like, SHIN is in danger. He's in danger. He needs as many Lurkers as possible, even if they are Lair Tech Lurkers. And even then, it's not going to be easy. An Immortal-based army can break through a siege line of Lurkers, for sure. Depending on the angle, depending on how open the area is. SHIN is making and massing as many Lurkers as he can. And Creator, instead of pushing, what do we see? A 5th expansion and a Fleet Beacon. This tells us that Creator, he's actually not moving out. Which means SHIN, he will get away with this. SHIN, he will survive. He will get away with Hive Tech, with Lurker Tech. SHIN is going to max out. And SHIN is safe. SHIN, he's moving in. The immortals are not quite in position. Lurkers, they push forward. Storms, they pop up. They catch up mainly the Lings. One storm of the Lurkers. Now the storm takes down one of the Lurkers. Oh my god, the storms do blanket the army. But again, there's just so many Lurkers. They're gaining ground. And again, we can see Creator, he's investing into Stargates, into Skytoss, not into his ground army, not yet, which means his base is going to fall. Creator is setting up for this round. Coming in from behind. Lurkers, they reposition. Lurkers reposition. Bit of an awkward engage. High Templar go down. Massive pickoffs. No more storms. Yeah, the High Templar do fall, and Creator just a really awkward assault here. Feast is getting picked off. Where's the detection? Oh no. Okay, Observer coming in. We'll clean this up. Whew. And cleans up all the Lurkers. Creator, he does hold, but he does lose a base in the process. Speaking of bases, another expansion under fire. SHIN gets into the middle line, making up more roaches behind this. Going for the Nexus. And the Nexus is going to go down. Creator, he's out of position. He cannot save this. Another massive pickoff. And SHIN has to get the hell out of here. he has to get out. Pulls out. Pulls away. Now, there are no defensive Lurkers, but he might not need them. Against, this army is just so small. It's so small. There's only 4 Immortals. There's 3 Archons. They're low on shields. Yeah, Ling Roach should be enough. Takes down one of the Immortals. Takes down an Archon. And another. And another. They just get picked off one after the other here. Creator just doesn't have enough. Back at home, losing base after base, expansion after expansion. He's being forced all in, and this investment into Skytoss with 3 Stargates LVP, and it's not going to come into play. It's not coming into play. It's not applicable. Again, Creator, he takes up so much into Skytoss and never got there. He never got there in the end. Just a little bit too passive in the follow-up. And with that SHIN, he will shut this down. He cleans up all the Immortals, comes in for the surround. Queens, they come in as well with the transfuse. Oh, going for the Prism. Can he get it? Oh my god, barely does. Takes out the Prism, denies the warp in. And SHIN overwhelms. GG gets called. Creator, he runs out of steam. And SHIN, he will take a 2-0 lead in the series. GG. Whew. GG, well played. Again, Creator, he definitely had momentum in this game. He had a moment, especially after he defended against the Roach push. Like, the Roach counterattack didn't do much. Like, Creator, he was in a beautiful position after that. But remember, he, instead of setting up for a move out himself, he was teching, right? He was teching into additionally more Immortals, into another expansion, and then into Skytoss. He wasn't gearing up or getting ready for any kind of push, so he wasn't able to punish SHIN. So he failed to punish him. SHIN successfully was able to get into Lurker tech because how passive Creator was. GG. GG, well played. Was able to make use of those Lurkers before Skytoss. And that leads us into game number 3. Oh boy. We go from some of these smaller maps now into a larger map. Again, Whispers of Gold and El Dorado, they're one of the smaller maps in the map pool. Now we load into Abyssal Reef, one of the larger maps. Let's go. And spawning in the top left-hand corner of Abyssal Reef, we have our South Korean Protoss player, the Blue Protoss. Oh. Down heavily in the series. We'll see if he can bounce back. We'll see if he can make a series out of this. The pressure is on. It is Creator. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have the South Korean Zerg player, the Red Zerg. Leading the series 2-0. It is SHIN. It's still a best of 7, still plenty more games ahead of us, but SHIN, he's one step closer to match point. He's almost there. And of course, welcome one and all to Abyssal Reef. Abyssal Reef is one of the larger maps in the map pool. Not just larger map, but a very defendable map as well. It is similar to Neo Violet Square, but I would say to the extreme. Where it is a little bit smaller than Neo Violet Square, that is true, but the bases are so much more defendable, referring to the natural, the 3rd, the 4th, and the 5th base. And it is similar to Neo Violet Square, where Neo Violet Square, you can also get up to a 5 base economy, that is true, but there are so many alleyways here. There's so many choke points, so many different twists and turns. Neo Violet Square is very open in the center of the map. Here, it is not. Here, there are so many different angles of attack, cliff faces, choke points, different avenues, and it does make for some more intense fighting, it makes it more difficult for a Zerg player, for example, to surround and to catch an army out in the open. You can be very defensive and very turtley on Abyssal Reef. I would say probably more so than any other map in the map pool. So turtle play is favored here on Abyssal Reef. The one downside, as we have brought up in the past, is the 6th base. The 6th base, whether it's this northern 6th base or this southern 6th base, is a little more isolated, a little more exposed, and a little more difficult to defend. But your 5 base setup is solid. It's going to be solid. But I might be getting ahead of myself. If you recall, the last time we saw a ZvP on a map like this was SHIN versus Trigger on Neon Violet Square, where Trigger, he actually went Stargate into double Stargate, Fleet Beacon into Mass Carrier with quadruple Phoenix production. Oh my god, never mind! With quadruple Carrier production, and he just snowballed into a win. Here instead, we have Creator going for a Twilight Council opener. Out of left field. I kind of like this. So, on the one hand, this map does favor longer macro play and defensive play, that is true. On the other hand, because of that, there are chances here that SHIN might cut corners. If he cuts corners, then he would be vulnerable against this. If he's too greedy, if he's too lax, if he just assumes that Creator is being greedy and defensive, then he might be caught off guard and might be overwhelmed. So this is a cheeky move here from Creator. Ling Scouts. Ling does dip in, a big scout. SHIN, he does get eyes on the Robo. Massive scout, massive tell. He knows. And we should be seeing a Roach Warren within the next 30 seconds. So already SHIN, without even the Overlord scout, he sees everything he needs to. Early Robo is a massive tell. The aggression is coming his way. Oh, not Glaive Adepts, going for a Dark Shrine instead. Okay, DT opener. So this is not an all-in. It's not an all-in. This is an economic build. Now, it's a bit of a give and take here. The 3rd base is late. The 3rd base is going to be late here for Creator, but he makes up for that with an Archon drop. So DTs into Archon drop. The goal here is to gain map control, is to hunt down Overlords, is to hunt down Queens, is to deny creep, is to keep the Zerg player pinned at home, while you then take a 3rd base. So it's going to be a later 3rd base here for Creator, which means these DTs and Archons, they need to get damage done. We did mention that we should be seeing a Roach Warren. There it is. Again, because SHIN scouted, he does respond with an early Roach Warren. So SHIN should be safe, but Creator should also gain map control. Now, once SHIN realizes what's going on, which for now he's still scouting, he still doesn't know if this is Glaives or DTs. Does see the Prism, does see the Gateways, and he will confirm the Twilight Council and the Dark Shrine. He sees everything in the main, he knows. Now, there is a common response here to DT openers, and that is mutas. Actually, 2 responses. Something that's quite common here, especially on Abyssal Reef, we could see a muta response in the mid-game, or we could even see a Swarm Host response. Now, the reason why these 2 tech paths are more effective against DT openers in the mid-game is because of no blink. Right, blink is heavily delayed, so your anti-air and your mobility as a Protoss army is very limited here on, against anything really. That's one downside here of an Archon opener. Lings poke in, they attempt to delay. Prism gets across the map. Alas, the Queens do deflect the DTs, and Creator, he will now morph in Archons. I should have 2 Archons here to move in. Lair is on the way, and we'll see if SHIN does rush into either Spire or Infestation Pit. He doesn't have to take up in that direction, but those are 2 different ways to try to punish Creator. Oh, there was another pause. We had a pause in El Dorado, and looks like we have a pause here as well from Creator, so hopefully everything's more or less okay. Aye. So far, SHIN is keeping up. And as I mentioned, it's all about map control. Creator, he's picking off tumors, picking off creep, containing SHIN. Gases are being taken. We have 2 gases here at the natural, 2 gases in the main base, 2 gases here at the 3rd. Yo, that's a lot of gas. What are we going for? What's it going to be? What are we taking into? Up. As nice positional play. Nice drops. Queen gets caught out. Archon still wreaking havoc, and there it is. We have not Infestation, not Spire. It is going to be the Hydra Den. Okay, so Shin, he's playing this out in a standard fashion, going Roach Hydra into most likely Roach Hydra Lurker. So much more safer here. It does mean the creator, he himself, is safe at home to saturate, to probe up, to get up to 3 bases, to get a 4th base as well. Of course, creator has to confirm this, so he moves out with the hallucination. He has to scout. For all he knows, there could be a Spire on the way. Based on this series, wouldn't put it past Shin. So he needs to confirm. Prism towards the main. Hallucination in between. Does he scout? Oh, not quite. Very interesting position here for the Hydra Den. There we go, he does confirm. Archons dive in, they get eyes on the Hydra Den, they see it researching, he knows. From here, creator, he can seamlessly go into Storm. Actually, he's pushing out. But this is risky. Creator, he's warping across the map, he's moving in with his main army, catching out a Queen, warps in on the right-hand side. Again, creator, he doesn't really have much to work with, so this is so risky here. And Prism gets caught. Oh, as the pile does connect. Oh no, has to recall. Has to recall the hell out of here. Prism does escape. And creator pulls away. Does pull away again. Very risky here. Very cavalier move by a creator. Very ambitious. Doesn't get punished. And here comes the 4th. Here comes the 4th expansion. Behind this creator, he's still been amassing up more Archons and more Immortals this entire time. He's up to how many? He's up to 4 Immortals, soon to be 5. It's a very heavy Immortal army. Now, what this means here is that even if Shin techs into Lurkers, we've spoken about this before, but Mass Immortal can break through Lurker lines. We kind of saw that on El Dorado. No Storm, though. There's no Temple Archives. Yeah, there's no Temple Archives, of course, right? In my brain, I'm like, oh, there's Archons, right? He has the Temple Archives. No. It's from the DTs. So, no Storm. My apologies. Shin pushing right down the middle. Shin, he cuts workers at 70. He's maxing out. He's going for the kill. He's trying to go for the throat. Nice concave here out of Shin. The army just can't quite engage. Shinny just maxes out, going for essentially a 3-base all-in. Like, he's not droning, he's not saturating, no Hive, no Lurker, then just pure Hydra Roach Ling. So does kite back, catching out the Archon. Prism goes down. He overwhelms. He does overwhelm. He just has far too much here. I say that the Immortals, they come in from behind. And with this pseudo surround, creator, he's holding. Oh, he's trying to. Oh, please have the Immortals though. 1, 2, 3 Immortals going down. Expensive losses here for creator. GG gets called. Creator, he will lose everything. And Shin, he snowballs out of control. Takes game 3. GG. Whew. GG, well played. Again, I was expecting a longer game. I was expecting Shin to drone and to tech up. But Shin says no. No, he doesn't drone. He cuts workers at 70. He does not throw down Infestation. He does not tech into Hive or into Lurkers or anything. Just maxes out on Ling, Hydra, Roach. GG. GG, well played. Who does outscale creator there? And I mean, hey, that's another way to punish. True. Another way to punish, I suppose, is to just send it down mid. Just send it back. GG. GG, well played. And now I'm concerned. Now Shin is on match point. He's on match point. One more game, and Shin will take the series. Creator, he has to fight back here, and now it's been a rough series so far for Creator. There have been some latency issues, as we saw, when it comes to the pauses, so I'm sure that doesn't help. But I'm hoping for a series here. I'm hoping that we don't see a one-sided finals. The pressure is on Creator. Stormhost is still in the game. I don't even know. Last time I saw them was in 2v2 tournaments. We casted... Was it Solar? We casted Solar going Stormhost a couple of days ago. Dark as well. But specifically, we do see them in ZvP against... what am I going for? Alright, against Archon Drop openers. Against Archon Drops and against Charge-based openers, that's where they're the most effective. We actually, I say we saw them a couple of days ago in ZvP. We actually saw them yesterday in ZvT, the Rogue series, right? Rogue versus Beyond. Rogue did go Swarmhost on Amygdala. True. If you missed out, I do recommend it. Rogue versus Beyond on Amygdala. That was during the Rex April Madness. We did see Mass Swarm host against Terran. But here we go. We're getting into our next game, and spawning in the top right-hand corner of ley lines, we have our South Korean Protoss player. We have the blue Protoss. We'll see if he can bounce back. We'll see if he can make a series out of this. He's up against the wall. He's on match point. It is a Creator. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have the South Korean Zerg player. Again, one more win is all he needs to claim the series and to be our LiuLi Cup champion. It is SHIN. So watching Institute in the middle of Heart of the Swarm, fair enough. I mean, I say that we saw them yesterday and we saw them a couple of days ago as well. They are niche units, like Swarmhost. They're very niche. They do typically require certain criteria to be met for them to be viable. So that's why we don't see them too often. Very niche. And so here we go. We are getting into our fourth game. And Creator, he has been mixing it up. Like, again, I'm kind of fond of his idea of going into an Archon drop in that last game. Unfortunately, he was kind of caught out. It was a really awkward defense that he had in between his fourth base and his natural base. SHIN, he was very decisive when it came to his push. And the reality is that the Archon drop didn't really get much damage done. He killed 2 queens, I want to say. He killed like 2 queens, killed an Overlord. Didn't get much economic damage. SHIN just happily droned up and just sent it from there. And clearly, Creator, he was unaware, right? He was unaware that there was an all-in coming his way. He was expanding, he was teching. Not quite ready for the assault. And we'll see how Creator will change things this time. How he will change his approach. As we load into ley lines. Ley lines, I would say, is one of the more standard maps of the map pool. It's not as there we go, Twilight Council. Let's go! It's not as extreme as one of the larger maps like Neon Violet Square or Abyssal Reef or King's Cove. It's also not as extreme as, I would say, Ultra Love or Whispers of Gold or El Dorado. So it's more down the middle. Now with this Twilight Council opener, you can see here he pulls out. He pulls out a gas. What does this scream? This screams Glaive Adepts. If he stays in gas, it would be Dark Templar. Pulling out should be Glaives. So Creator, he does shift gears. We'll see if he pulls back in. Otherwise, 2 and 2 should be Glaives. There it is. Glaives are on the way. So this is 4 Glaive Adepts. Now, as a reminder, this is not an all-in. This is not an all-in. This is an aggressive build, that is true, but this is designed to transition into a third base. This is designed to get damage done early on, to cripple the Zerg player economically, and to give yourself a lead coming into the mid-game. That also means that there's a lot of emphasis, there's a lot of onus here on Creator to get damage done with these Adepts. He does need to get some damage, otherwise he will fall behind. Doesn't have to kill, but does have to get some drone kills. Meanwhile, SHIN, what does he scout here? He doesn't get much vision across the map. He does have an Overlord outside of the main and outside of the natural. He is going for a safety Roach Warren though. Does play it safe. That is a what, like 3:55 Roach Warren timing-ish. He has safety Spore on the way. He's getting ready for DTs just in case. Overlord Scout is denied. And he does not see the move out, so he doesn't know. He doesn't know if it's DTs or Glaive Adepts. He knows that something is wrong, something is amiss. Doesn't know what. He does confirm. Gets eyes on the Adepts. He's building up back at home, massing up Lings. Roach production now can begin. He's on 2 gases. Roaches are building up. He doesn't have SimCity here to wall off the natural. Adepts, they push in. We see SHIN is preserving those Lings. He zones away with the queens. Oh. Speaking of, Creator, he's going for the first queen. Won't quite get it though. Queen does survive. Prism into the main, gets deflected. SHIN so far is all over this. Roaches have arrived, and SHIN, he holds. Now it's not over yet. Creator can still catch him off guard with these shades, but for the most part, there are plenty of Lings, plenty of Roaches. And SHIN, do we go for Pneumatized Carapace? What are we going for? Now he's holding. His holding is droning up. Creator, he does race back home. And I will say the Creator is in a rough position. Now, on the one hand, he didn't lose the Adepts. True, the Adepts did survive. That is true, but this third base is so late. It's such a late third base here for Creator. He did need more economic damage. SHIN from here he can drone up. Lair is on the way. So SHIN he can freely saturate. He is supply blocked. Ooh, 5 overlords. That is a brutal supply block. That is slowing SHIN down. But for the most part he can drone. He can drone, he can saturate. Building up his third. Once the lair finishes, we'll see if he goes into roach speed or if he techs up. If he techs up, then he might just saturate and take a 4th base and build up into the mid game. Creator moving out early on. Bold move. Now he is teching. Bay is on the way for Colossus. But he is pushing forward first. Takes down an Overlord. SHIN, he's getting ready for this. Head up, say fan out. They're keeping SHIN busy. Lair is done. Roach speed is on the way. Now, I am concerned here for Creator if SHIN does decide to go for 3-base all-in. If he drones up to like 66 and then gets a 4th base just for Larva, I do think the Creator will be vulnerable to that. Just because of the early game. But we'll see. As again, SHIN has been droning heavily here. Creator stabilizing, getting a 2nd Robo, double Colossus production. I mean, he should have a pretty safe setup here with his first 2 Colossus. As Overseer does go into the main for scouts, does confirm the Mass Stalker. Does get eyes on the Robo, does not see the Bay yet. I believe the Bay is here at the natural. And SHIN is taking. Okay, we have confirmation. So SHIN, he takes a 4th base and he throws that infestation bit. This tells us that SHIN, he is getting ready for a longer game. He'll now have access here to a hive or to lurker tech. Yep, there's a Hydrogen into lurkers. So SHIN is playing this out. He's playing this out. Shuts down the Adepts. Gaining map control. SHIN, he can threaten the 4th. But Creator, he will build up a death ball of an army here. Like, he's gonna be able to get up to 4 Colossus real fast and real quick. Now, if Creator, we've mentioned this a lot here, but if Creator, if he can hit before lurkers, he can break SHIN. And I do think he intends to. Yeah, Prism moves out. He's getting up to 3 Colossus. 4th Colossus on the way. Again, this is going to be a brutal push. And SHIN, he's not quite ready for this. SHIN, he sees the army. He's going for a run by, going for a counterattack. SHIN, he's vulnerable back at home. Can he force a recall? Does move in. Creator, he doesn't flinch. There it is, there's a recall. Recalls back home. Lingzay busts into the mineral line. Lingzay pull away, and this buys time for lurkers. Lurker Den is almost done. Oh, catching out sentries. Sentries, they get picked up. 4th base gets spotted. And again, she's just keeping Creator busy. Lings are being cleaned up. This is worth it, though. Lurker Den, we need a couple more seconds. Here comes Creator. Creator, he might still be able to bring down this expansion. As SHIN, he needs a little bit more time. There we go. Lurkers are morphing in. But they're not ready. Yeah, Lurkers aren't ready. Creator, he has a death ball of an army here with 3 Colossus. He's going for the kill. He's going for the throw. He takes on Lurkers. He gets 1. He gets 2. And SHIN, he needed more time. He needed a little bit more time here. And it looks like Creator, he's done it. He's done it. He breaks through that defensive line. There's 1 Lurker left. Lings, they hit the expansion. The Roach, sorry, they hit the expansion. It doesn't matter. And Creator, he has detection. Does move in. Again, there's only 1 Lurker. It's not enough. Does fall. And there's nothing here. There's nothing left here for SHIN. Across the map, he does kill probes. But Creator, he's killing SHIN. he's killing SHIN. We have 2 more Lurkers coming in. But again, there's still plenty of detection. Lurker goes down. GG gets called. And Creator, he will fight back. He puts a point on the board. GG. Whew. GG, well played. Again, we saw Shin, he was desperately trying to buy time for lurkers, who was going for run by after run by, Ling counterattack. It was doing damage, don't get me wrong, but Creator, he didn't care. He didn't care, it wasn't really stopping him from committing to his push, and he did break Shin just before the lurker attack. Whew. GG. GG, well played. With that, that leads us here into game number 5. We have a series, we have a back and forth. It is not going to be one-sided. And is this the beginning of the comeback? Creator, he puts a point on the board. Is this the beginning here of even a reverse sweep? Can we go the distance? Can we go to the ace match? Let's go. The pressure is still on the Protoss, as spawning in the top right-hand corner of Frostline, we have the South Korean Protoss player, the blue Protoss, putting a point on the board, but still up against the wall. He still needs to fight back here and now to work his way towards that ace match. It is Creator. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have the red Zerg player, or the red Zerg player himself from South Korea, one game away from claiming the series, from becoming our champion. It is SHIN. We go. Hello, SHIN. As SHIN, for the first time this series, is moving out with a hatch block. Let's go. Pool first as well. Interesting. So pool first. Moving out with his drone. Again, this should be for the hatch block here across the map. The goal here is to delay the expansion and to disrupt the Protoss. As we're waiting a little bit longer here to move in. Backing up those minerals. Creator, he has arrived with his probe. And SHIN, he will soon pull the trigger. The Lings are on the way. Now, I say hatch block. Because of the early pull timing, he can go for a block here at the wall, and he will. Yeah, he's going for the block. Creator, he's in a bit of trouble here. The wall is compromised, Lings are moving in, and this is not an economic start here. This is designed to kill Creator. The goal here, the pylon. Lings are moving out, more Lings are on the way. SHIN commits to the all-in. You can see Creator trying to get a wall up. The Zealot's being chronoed as we speak. Going for the Zealot. Still more Lings on the way, still all in. As extra boys are being pulled. Zealot has arrived. The hatchery taking a lot of hits. There we go, here comes that second gateway. More boys moving down. And Lings are going for the gateway itself. And the Zealot's on the other side. Yeah, the Zealot cannot defend. The hatchery just buying more time. Here comes a shield battery, but that gateway is so low. Oh. Does cancel. Does cancel. Second Zealot's on the way. And SHIN, he's not quite breaking through this. Now, on the one hand, SHIN, he's expanding back at home, but he committed so hard. He made so many Lings. He needs to break through. He needs to break through this. He can't get on top of the Zealots. Now there's 2 Zealots. And Creator, he holds. Creator, he does hold on. And SHIN, he's in a brutal position. He has 12 drones. It was a 12 pool. Aye. It's not... Yeah, GG gets called. He cannot macro out of this. And Creator, he fights back. He puts another point on the board. GG. Whew. GG, well played. Hyper aggression there by SHIN. A cheeky build, but alas, Creator, he did respond well enough. He was able to chrono out that Zealot, get a second Zealot out, and as soon as the second Zealot arrived, that was game. That was game then and there. There was no way for SHIN to break that position. There was no way for him to break Creator. Couldn't do it, couldn't pull it off. And that leads us here into game number 6. Whew. Oh boy, here we go. We're getting into game 6. And Creator, he is one game away from forcing the ace match. Can he bring it back? Can he bring it home? As spawning in the top right-hand corner here of Ultra Love, we have our South Korean Protoss player. He has momentum on his side, winning 2 games in a row. It is Creator. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have the South Korean Zerg player, the red Zerg, down, or still one game away from winning the entire series here. Can he close it out here and now? It is SHIN. Here we go. Again, SHIN just getting a little bit too excited in that last game, as he was unable to break that natural. Unable to break through. Likewise, Creator sitting up here on the low ground. And this time, SHIN, he expands back at home. Does expand. I'll take the natural. Here we go. We are setting up. We are setting up back at home here. So far, standard openers. Again, we had a crazy start to the game when it came, or last game, when I should say, when it came to the initial 12 pool, when it came to the hatch block. This time, we got it out of our system. It's out of our system. We can calm down. We can saturate. We can get into the game. We can play some StarCraft. Let's go. Let's go. As it does poke in, back at home, Stargate opener out of Creator, so far so good, so far so standard. I should also point this out, just because Creator, he has gone for Twilight Council openers 2 games in a row. If you recall, he went for the DT opener and then the Glaive Adept opener. This time, we're just chilling out, going for a Stargate, playing standard this time from the side of Creator. Likewise, Shin also going for his own third. For his own third base, droning up, saturating. On a smaller map like Ultra Love, aggression can be favored. I should bring that up as well. Coming into this, the third base is relatively secure. You can knock down this tower. So you can knock down the tower, you can fully wall this area off. Likewise, we also have another choke point here at the linear third location as well. So there are some better defensive aspects here on Ultra Love. Likewise, a lot of choke points, a lot of ramps as well, a lot of points of elevation. It is a lot more common to see a longer and later game on this map in some aspects. I say that just because the rush distance by ground is still relatively short, so we have seen a lot of queen walks. Like a lot of queen walks across the map, a lot of drop a load all-ins. They are relatively common, I will say, or they're not uncommon, maybe a better way of putting it. They are viable. There you go. They're viable here on this map. They usually don't actually hit these expansions. They usually push in between the bases, in between the natural and the third, in this central area. But we'll see. We'll keep an eye on Shin. Shin, he still has a little bit of breathing room. He can still be a little bit more aggressive and take some chances and take some risks. But clearly, so far, it just hasn't been working out. Meanwhile, Twilight Council before third base. Oh my god, hyper aggression here from Creator. Delayed third base quite heavily here, rushing into what should be Glaive Adepts. So this is not your standard Glaive Adept build. This is going to be a little bit later, but can also be very deadly. As we have our Gateway Explosion. Getting up to... This is insane, by the way. Getting up to 4 gates already. Still no expansion. Still no third. Because of that, this might... We could even double down and go into something like Charge or something like that. Oh, yep, there we go. Going into an early Prism and not into Glaives, into a Templar Archives. Into a delayed Archon drop. Okay. Ooh, this does make more sense. So this is not an all-in. Just bear that in mind. This is not an all-in. This is going to be an Archon drop opener, and Creator, he will expand. The way this works is that the Templar Archives is lined up with the Warp Prism. So by the time the Prism gets across the map, you can warp in High Templar, morph them into Archons, and drop across the map. This leads into Archon Immortal charge lots as an army composition, into Storm as well. Unlike the DT opener, here Storm is a lot more available here because of the Templar Archives. So this is very similar to the DT opener on Abyssal Reef, except it has a lot more longevity to it, and it does transition better into the mid-game. As Lings, they poke in. They attempt to surround. Oracle's in position to defend. And here come the Archons. Now, as the Archon job is moving out, we're building up a heavy Immortal count early on. Now, we spoke about Archon base openers previously and how something like Swarm Host or Mutas can be a good response to this. Lair is almost done. First Queen goes down. Nice pick off here by Creator. And what do we take into? Lair has completed. Shin for now going into Roach Speed, taking extra gases. From here we can just go into Hydras, into Spire, into Infestation Pits. What's it gonna be? It does rotate around. Does pull away. Does rotate. And Creator, he's gonna be going for an earlier charge timing. What's important here is that Shin, he didn't tech up into anything else. He's actually still hyper fixated on Roach Ravager, which is gonna be more ideal. It does mean that he should be prepared for this move out. I say should, it's gonna come down to the engage. There's still a lot of power in this push with charge, with Archons, with Immortals. This is still a very hefty army. As we have 15 roaches on the way from Shin. Again, Shin, he's taking this very seriously. Just massing up Roach Ravager. Creator, he breaks forward. Oh, does catch the very nicely done. Catches at the Ravagers. A strong start here for Creator. He still has force fields left over. Speaking of, it does have more force fields. Shin pokes in. Oh, pulls away. This time doesn't quite lock him down. Shinny does pull out in time. Expansion's gonna fall at the same time. Massive link. Ramai, the wall's not a wall. Hero! The wall's not a wall. Lings a bust into the main. Probe's gonna be going down. Expansion does fall, but now Shinny can chase this. He can chase this down. Bailey doesn't get the Archon. 13 probes gonna be falling in the main. The Biles! Biles, they shut down the Prism. Massive pickup. And now there's no more micro, no more control here. 2 Archons do fall. And Creator, he's in trouble. He has to get the hell out of here. He does recall. Recalls back home. Now taking a 4th base. Now expanding. But Shin is maxed. Shin, he's maxed out. He's on 3 base saturation. 61 workers. He doesn't drone any further. 4th base on the way just for Larva. And Shin is going to push. He's going to push out here and now. And he can at least kill the 4th base. But he might want more than that. Might just go for the 3rd instead. That is a lot of force fields. A lot of sentries. A lot of energy. Shin is moving in. It's all or nothing for Shin. He's at 200 supply. Knocks down the rocks. Diving on the main army. Oh! Piles, they don't quite connect. So far the forces, they've been solid. The Roaches, the Ravagers are getting caught out. Very nice force fields. Despite having less supply, Creator making the best of his army. Making the best of what he has. Shin, he rotates. Trying to find another way in. Oh! Being cheeky with the Wiles. And forcing the army down to low ground. Trying to force a better angle. And Creator's having a very awkward time moving in. And Shin, can he get this round going? Have his army locked out. Does pull away. Getting another Archon, getting an Immortal. Still an awkward engagement here, but Immortals are getting picked up. Lings are coming from behind. We get the surround going. Yes, the round comes in, and Creator, he gets caught out. Trying to get out of here, trying to push towards the natural. Pushing up the ramp. And Creator's down to 2 Immortals. 2 Immortals left. Meanwhile, Lings reinforces. They hit the 3rd base. They bust into the mineral line. More probes going down. And Creator, he has been broken. The 3rd base has been broken here. The 4th base, it's a non-factor. It is not saturated. And Shin can just keep making more units. More Lings, more Roaches. Forcing Creator to respond. And Creator, he just doesn't have the army. Not anymore. We spoke about it earlier, but this central location between the natural and 3rd base is just so awkward to push into as a defending player. And Creator, he was just torn apart. Expansion goes down. It does fall. Creator, he's at least on 3 bases. He can somewhat sustain himself. Storm is on the way, but alas, his army count was basically reset. He's up to 6 at Jesus. He is up to 6 Immortals, which is impressive. It's a lot of Immortals. And thankfully for Shin, he's been droning. He droned up. He went up to 72 from 60, so 72 workers. Hydra production well underway. Without Storm, I do favor Shin's army. And Shin, he should be pushing before Storm. It should be. He's remaxed. The Lings, they hit the 4th base once again. Going for the expansion, they force a cancel. I mean, oh no, he's not looking. Prism goes down. Ay, ay, ay. And Storm is going to finish in 10 seconds, but even with Storm at this point, it might not be enough. So he picks off that final Immortal. SHIN, he's up 80 supply. Vivian does take a Storm to the face. There's a lot of High Templar, a lot of Storms. I believe there's 3 Storms available. Soon to be 4. That's also still a very high Immortal count, getting up to 7 Immortals. It's a very beefy army. SHIN having a hard time engaging. Behind this, he's taking up in towards a hive, towards lurkers. SHIN, he's not tunnel visioning. Going for the Nexus, going for the expand. Roaches, they peel up into the mineral lines. Not that. The Tunneling Claw Roaches, they hit the natural, they go into the main. Probe's going to be going down. And just a way to force the all-in. Like Creator, he's losing far too much at home. He was already all in to begin with, now he has to commit. Now this is a terrifying army. That's how many Storms? 7. 7 High Templar. And 10 Immortals. Like this is terrifying. And it's all or nothing. Massive Storms on the Hydras. Lurkers are not ready, by the way. 0 Lurkers to defend. Creator, can he pull this off? I mean, with the best Storms he can, for sure. Zones away the Hydras, 2 Storms do connect. Still, what, 3 more Storms available? 2 more thrown down, Poise are being pulled. And, you know, despite being forced into the all-in, despite having barely an army, he has, down to 0 Storms. No, sorry, 1 left. 1 Storm remaining, does go for the Warp in, Massive Mortals breaking through. And SHIN, he's hurting. SHIN is in trouble here. Being forced further back, and no shot Creator. Can he do it? Can he get the Storm off? Oh, the High Templar stuck in the back line. Reinforcements coming in. SHIN gets a full surround. There's the final Storm. And that's all he had left. Zealot coming to reinforce, but Creator, he has no reinforcements left. He has no money. Barely not enough. And SHIN, he will hold. GG gets called. SHIN, he will survive. He will claim the series 4-2 and become our LiuLi Cup 36 champion. GG. GG, well played. Congratulations, and congratulations to SHIN. Shout out to Creator because he almost pulled that off. That was crazy. That was a terrifying army towards the end of the game, where he was able to just snowball out of control. Again, unfortunately, imagine a world where there wasn't that Ling run by, where Creator didn't lose, what was it, like 15 probes towards the end. If he actually had those extra workers sustaining himself, he would have been able to reinforce with more Zealots. We saw like 3 Zealots warp in to reinforce. If we saw like a proper like reinforcement wave of Zealots there, maybe Creator could have actually pulled that off. Like with extra Zealots, that would have been amazing against the Hydras. Again, 0 Lurkers to defend. Very close, very intense. In the end, SHIN does hold, but that was not an easy defense. That was not an easy hold. GG, congratulations, SHIN. He will claim the series, but a shout out to Creator because he did make a series out of it. Did definitely put in a lot of work, and even some of these games that SHIN did take was quite close here in the end. It's quite close. Very intense. GG, well played. We can switch our scenes over and catch up on the brackets and catch up on the results of the players here, the performances in today's tournament. Again, it was a 2-day event. 2 days. We had day 1 being the quarterfinals, and day 2 was the semis and grand finals thereafter. Congratulations to SHIN. It was not an easy performance here for him. He took down Zan, took down Creator, took down Trigger as well, non-stop ZvPs, and I'll be honest, there were definitely moments here where Zan or Trigger could have brought SHIN down. Ace matches all around. Ace match against Zan, ace match against Trigger, and a series against Creator, almost a full series as well. So again, did work very hard for that. Likewise, Creator also had some really close matches against Gumiho and Kyo. So I do appreciate that we barely had any one-sided matches. Aside from one, Kyo did take down Beyond 2-0, so it was a little bit more one-sided there, very intense TVT, but outside of that, very competitive between everyone else. Between Bunny, Zan, Gumiho, Creator, Trigger, Shin, like everyone else, even Kyo, like very competitive amongst each other. Very back and forth. GG. GG, well played. Congratulations to Shin here as he is our champion, and I look forward to seeing more of the LiuLi Cup in the coming weeks. I do know that they have already invited some other players here, and I look forward to seeing more of this in the future. Shout out to, of course, Saber. Shout out to LiuLi for hosting and organizing this event on a semi-regular basis. And again, as I mentioned before, this tournament is usually very chaotic, and there's usually different formats depending on the week. Sometimes like a GSL group, sometimes a round of 8, sometimes a round of 4, sometimes just a straight up show match, just like a best of 9 1v1 show match. So yeah, it does kind of change from time to time, but a shout out nonetheless to LiuLi and to Saber for making this a reality, for hosting this on a regular basis. GG. GG, well played. With that, thank you so much for tuning in. That does wrap up our broadcast for the morning. Jesus, it was intense. Only 3 series? It was a 4-hour cast. These matches, they went the distance back. They went the distance. 4 hours for 3 series. Crazy, crazy. So GG, well played. With that, that does wrap up our early morning broadcast. Checking out our schedule here, you can see that we only had 1 cast today. Oh, that crazy. We're falling off, back. We're falling off. We have half a day off this week. Half a day off. You can see Friday evening, no cast. No cast Friday evening. We do plan on taking some time off here, on taking a break. Of course, this is the Easter long weekend. We have Friday, we have Monday off here as a public holiday, so it is a nice time here to take some time off, to take a breath, take a breather. When I say that, really all I mean, it's time to ladder, papi. Let's go. It's time to ladder. It's time to smooch. So we're going to take a little bit of a break here. We're going to be streaming over on my personal channel. Going to be laddering for a moment. Also, we're going to be playing some Final Fantasy 14 later on this evening as well. So we're able to spend some time outside of just purely StarCraft. Also, when it comes to the weekend, we have a lot of casting going on. We have the KSL, we have MSO, we have the StarCraft 2 Brazilian Circuit Stage 1. We have Figro Cup as well. Plenty of content, plenty of StarCraft on the horizon. Again, we cast twice a day, every single day, except for Friday this week. Friday, half a day off. How dare we? How dare we? But outside of that, we cast on a daily basis, on a regular basis, non-stop StarCraft here on the channel. We cast more than any other channel out there. So if you enjoyed the casting, if you enjoyed the StarCraft, consider following, because we have plenty of content on the channel. Likewise, we also upload on YouTube on a daily basis as well. !socials in the chat, and you'll get a link to all of our social medias, including our YouTube channel. Again, we do upload on YouTube every single day. If you see something here that you like, if you missed out on day 1, if you missed out on the quarterfinals, I recommend it. I recommend the VODs. I recommend tuning in. Even last night, I recommend the Rex. I mean, I recommend everything really, but the Rex April Madness. We have some killer matches between Beyond, between Rogue. A lot of content, a lot of StarCraft, and it's all on YouTube. I know that it's hard to watch everything live just because there is so much StarCraft going on, so much that we can't even catch up. Like, there's a lot of events that we have to turn down because they're overlapping with other events, right? There's just a lot of overlap, there's just a lot of content happening, and it's hard for even us to cast as much as we would like to, so that's why we sometimes catch up with replays. For example, LiuLi Cup, this was a replay cast. We couldn't cast it live because I believe we were casting the March Madness at the time live instead. Like, there's just a lot of content, a lot of StarCraft. We're catching up. Likewise, we also cast StarCraft Evolution every now and then, and Warcraft 3 Evolution, so sometimes something other than SE2. I believe next week we have like 3 or 4 StarCraft Evolution casts. Like, we have a lot of StarCraft Evolution next week. None this week, but plenty next week. So we got you covered. Time to I will ladder. Time to ladder. Let's go. By the shin of his teeth. Yes, exactly. Great games. But yeah, with that, thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in. Do appreciate it so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for the support, and with that, I'll see you guys. If you're only here for StarCraft casting, we'll see you tomorrow. We'll see you tomorrow for the KSL in less than 24 hours. We have the Korean StarCraft League, so some more Korean on Korean action. Otherwise, I'll see you over on my personal channel for some smooge for some ladder. I am very worn out. I just casted 4 hours, so I'm not at peak, you know, laddering capacity, but, you know, if we don't ladder today, we don't get to ladder at all. We have no free time, so time to ladder, time to smudge. See you soon over on that channel. Otherwise, thanks for watching. Thanks for watching. Thanks for support. You can also support us on Patreon if you wish. You can support us on Patreon. You can help fund us. 100% of the money on Patreon goes towards our tournaments. Goes towards events like Sea Duckling Open, Master Swan Open, and Sparkling Tuna Cup as well. All the tournaments are funded via Patreon. It all goes back to the players. It all goes to the community. Goes to the StarCraft scene. So if you want to help support StarCraft, you can do so via Patreon. Otherwise, thanks for watching. We'll see you tomorrow for KSL, or later on tonight for some StarCraft ladder. See you soon. See you soon. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Ciao, papi, ciao. See you next time.